Undisputed dropped another development update, this time hosted by Sean Porter, which was a surprise. The first half of this video felt a little bit like a PR job about Steel City Interactive being an indie studio and the difficulties that they've faced since launch. But later on we do get some info about some upcoming changes to the game. These changes are mainly what I'm going to be discussing today, so stick around to find out what they are and my opinions on them. So the community have been calling out the stamina pretty much since the game launched. I personally, and I've said this in a lot of videos since the patch, prefer the current stamina to how it was when the game launched. I felt stamina was too lenient in the launch version. People were spamming those power punches. They counteracted the spamming, and that's something that Ash spoke about in this video, that they don't want people to be able to spam power punches. So the stamina change that they brought in did help alleviate that problem. But things like the block stamina is the same as a punch miss. So Ash explains that a missed punch and a punch that is blocked costs a player the same amount of stamina currently. That is going to be altered in an upcoming update, and Sean Porter backs this up, obviously with his real life experience, saying that that sort of goes along with how boxing really works. We are going to be getting robes, finally. A big request from the community all the time about this game has been when a robe's been added. There's some talk about why it's been difficult for them to implement this, to do with the full body scans that they've done. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know exactly if that is true. It sounds like it shouldn't be, and Ash even kind of points out that his mind originally works the way of thinking, well, why can't we just add that in? And then people that he's working with tell him, well, there's all these problems that we've got to overcome to do that. But robes will be added to the game only for marquee fighters. That means not every boxer is going to have an option to come out in robes, but the top fighters, Tyson Fury and the likes, they're going to have robes for their walkouts. They do discuss online, but it's discussed in more generalities and not many specifics were given other than they are looking to improve it. I feel like Sean Porter brought up the issue of people losing SP in online ranked fights, even when they've won a fight, but Ash seemed to talk about how the judges work. So I don't know, maybe I misunderstood what Porter meant, but it felt like he was discussing people losing their SP points when they win a fight rather than how the judges work, and Ash kind of went on about judges. Online multi-queuing has been brought up as well, and I think this sounds like a good idea, being able to select a few different classes or different boxes across different weight classes, and whichever game you are matched with, whichever opponent you are matched with first, is what you get. So you could pick a heavyweight, a featherweight, and maybe a welterweight, and you would maybe match with someone else in the welterweight division first, and that is the fight that you would get. I felt like Ash kind of explained what a multi-queue is rather than actually confirming whether or not this is being implemented to the game, but I guess them bringing it up sort of means that Steel City Interactive are looking at bringing it in, but there was no actual confirmation, at least I didn't hear it, that this is coming. Custom creations could be available to use online against other players later on down the line. Not something that I've particularly thought about, or really anything that I've particularly wanted myself, but apparently a lot of the community has been asking, can we use the custom creations online? I guess this would be very good for people making custom creations that are outside of the game, so like boxers that aren't licensed in the game. I've seen a lot of people have made Mike Tyson recently, so being able to use that custom created Mike Tyson online against somebody else with Jake Paul or somebody else with Buster Douglas, that'll be cool. Custom career is also mentioned, and this is basically being able to select different fighters that can appear in your career. So you could basically have different eras of a certain weight class. Obviously, they have boxers from yesteryear right up to modern day. Again, not something that I've really thought about, but a nice little bit of customization can never be a bad thing in a game. We are going to be seeing more options being brought in for your create a fighter and some for the licensed boxers. So this is basically more customization options for your fighters. Ring attire, I believe. I didn't sound like there would be more options for the actual physical look of your fighter, but it sounded more like things like gloves and shorts and things like that. We're going to be able to do more options with, which actually really is needed because there isn't a great deal of different designs currently that you can utilize in the game. So yeah, that'll be a welcome addition. And there's confirmation of more free DLC on the way in terms of boxers' attire, so different uniforms for fighters, which will be a free DLC. Ash does confirm that there are more DLC boxers coming. Some of these will be free, which I think is the way that they need to do this, because also some DLC boxers are going to be paid for, like we had the pack previously with Jake Paul and the 6 other fighters in that pack. There will be more of those packs for us to purchase, but there are going to be some free boxers added to the game as well, which I said in that video when I discussed the first DLC that the way forward for Steel City Interactive is to do it like this, have some freebies, but also have the paid ones. I think that would keep the community relatively happy. And we close out this development update with Ash saying that they're fairly happy with how things are going. They're seeing over 100,000 daily players, which I actually don't know how good that is or not. They've sold nearly 1.5 million copies of the game, which I think obviously for an indie studio is good figure. 100,000 players a day sounds great to me. Obviously what they want to avoid is that dipping. And I do feel like Undisputed, if they don't start getting a few things right, they may start to lose players. I'm already seeing top content creators saying that they're done with the game. Seeing some guys on social media saying that they've had enough of it as well. As I always say in my Undisputed videos, right now I'm currently still enjoying the game. I'm playing it more than I did when it was in the beta format, which is a good sign. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, there are things that they need to improve. And look, Ash even says this himself. He knows that the game is not perfect, and he knows that there are things that the team need to address, and they are going to keep working on that. It was interesting as well recently to see that Boxing Fanatico has left Steel City Interactive. My initial reaction when I saw the thumbnail was that, oh, he's been fired or something. That's not the case. He left on his own accord. Go and watch his video. Boxing Fanatico has put out a video discussing exactly what's happened in that situation. He obviously can't say everything about it because of NDAs and things, but I might link that down below actually if you've not seen it. Obviously he worked with them for a couple of years. Fanatico, you know, he's come out and he's not working with the company anymore, but he's got a good opinion of the people that he worked with there, and he admits himself that the game's not perfect, same as what Ash has said, same as what I'm saying, and same as what, you know, other people are saying. But ultimately the game is enjoyable for Edward and myself and other people. It's understandable that not everyone's enjoying the game. Ash even alludes to the fact that, you know, some people were enjoying the game at launch, and when they made the patch, all those people that were enjoying it at launch said that they didn't like the patch, whereas the people that weren't enjoying it at launch prefer the patched version, which I'm actually in that camp. I'm in the patch version enjoyment side. So finding that balance and getting it to an enjoyable experience for everyone is, I think, proving a difficult task for the studio. And it goes back to the old saying that you can't please everybody. But I hope you've been pleased with this video, me discussing the development update. You should go watch this video next.